Helen, what's the problem? Well, a woman died in there. Leave it.
It was scarier than I thought it was going to be.
Well, we found it. Let's go.
Wait a second.
I just remember being like really proud that I was in it. I went to film school thinking I would make documentaries and not really thinking that I'd make narrative, pieces until it was writing, I wrote my first piece, and then I decided later after writing it that I wanted to direct it. So I didn't have a plan. I wanted to be an actor, That was my first love. It's very important to me, and I spent most of my life especially up to that point, really, really invested in my acting career. The two movies that were a big deal for me, personally and professionally, probably Vampire's Kiss and Silence of the Lambs, and Silence, of course, being just a really formative experience in my career. It was a very, very special movie for me, and kind of a special time in my life, honestly. I had just gone to film school, and I was doing theater, and I was feeling good. Things felt like they were coming together, and then I got Silence, and I was like, oh, okay, this is the beginning, It's something my agent sent me up for, sent me the script. Maybe they had said that there was interest in me. I can't remember, but I'm sure I auditioned. Nothing came for free. I didn't really get any offers of movies, not for roles like that. I'm sure I auditioned. Yeah, I was a fan of horror films for sure, and I'm aware of Clive Barker, and a fan. I liked a lot of, but not all kinds of horror films. I liked kind of psychological horror, but yeah, definitely it was something that I wasn't afraid of, and that I was into, and I thought the script was cool, very. Kind of revolutionary at the time, And Candyman, I thought it was great just to have that kind of antagonist, that kind of, the boogeyman was an interesting character and had an interesting history. I liked the history of the character and how he came to kind of, be that ghost monster,
An entire community starts attributing the daily horrors of their lives to a mythical figure.
Right.
It was kind of a big deal for me. I was just starting to do kind of supporting leads in movies, and so it was very important for my career, I guess. I started to feel like, I could proudly put it on my resume, and people would be like, "Oh, wow, that was cool," It was all good, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't holding my nose at jobs. I mean, it was very exciting. There weren't that many leads. You know what I mean, in the piece. So it felt like a very intimate cast, and I was happy to be alive. I was excited to be a part of it.
What's with the arsenal, Bernadette? We're only going 8 blocks.
You're the one who got us dressed up like cops.
I just said dress conservatively.
No, we look like cops.
With Virginia, we didn't really know each other before, but we got to know each other very quickly, and we became kind of buddies, and it was a very effortless. We had great chemistry. I mean, we were friends. I mean, we hung out together, and we had a lot of time to bond because there were scenes that were kind of just the two of us. It was great. It was a very small cast. We were in Chicago. Chicago's a lot of fun. So we had a really good time. We definitely, chemistry was real. I mean, we were really friends.
What? Somebody in there. I saw a light go on. There's nobody there.
Psych.
That's not funny. That was not funny.
I didn't really have that much interaction with Tony, except just casually being there. He was great. He was very tall and handsome. Vanessa was a friend of mine. She had been a friend of mine before that, and we became very close after that. I think we probably already had been. I'd known Vanessa a long time. We kind of come up together, and she's amazing. It was great to to be around her, and she was a very good friend of my family's. Bernard was amazing. He's kind of a little bit of a madman. He was always like twirling his hair. He was very intense. I think that drawing on all of the directors that I worked with helped me as a director. And one thing I got from Bernard had a very kind of intense and focused relationship, you know, with Virginia in terms of this his lead actress and trying to get her into the headspace and almost this kind of hypnosis that would go on between them, and the intensity with which he would talk to her. It's kind of something I retained. I mean, it was very impressive.
Now that's Cabrini Green. Not that you'd recognize it today.
Yeah, no kidding. I won't even drive past there. Heard a kid got shot there the other day.
Every day.
Well, it was notorious, and it felt important to see it. As a matter of fact, I'm very grateful that I saw it, you know, while it was there, and it was interesting. I mean, we didn't really have problems that I remember. I do remember somebody shooting the generator. I remember that kind of being like the thing that happened that shook everybody a little bit. Is a bullet hole in the generator. Yeah.
Just going up to see a friend of ours.
Sure you're not the police? Huh?
Oh. Look like 5-0 to me. Ask Blondie where she going.
Who's she going to see? Who you going to see?
Come on.
Where you all going now?
It was edgy. It was probably maybe not as traumatic for me as for some other people, you know, but yeah, it was interesting. It was truly interesting, and it felt like we were someplace really, you know what I mean? It was like, this is a real location. It helped to kind of get the vibe of the whole thing. This kind of goes to be haunting Cabrini Green was interesting.
Bernadette! Sorry. I ran out of film. I've got to go back.
No way, Helen, we're out of here.
Because, you know, you're on a set, so you're kind of creating the tension and creating the reality. And I can remember that scene where we say Candyman in the mirror, right? When I saw it, after that, I wouldn't have said it in the mirror. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have. It was really funny. I ran into a kid in Harlem who recognized me. Her mom recognized me first, and then she was like, "You were in Candyman." I'm like, "Really? Have you seen that movie? It's pretty scary." And she said, "Yeah, Candyman, Candyman." And I was like, "Don't say it." You know, it still kind of freaks me out.
Candyman. Oh, you chicken! You have to do it 5 times. Come on.
It was kind of an extraordinary role for me. I kind of like die spectacularly, and you know, there's a lot of blood, and I remember being happy with my scenes and thinking the movie was really frightening. One of my vivid memories is laying in a pool of blood, having been, you know, kind of eviscerated, and the makeup was so good, and it was so horrible that nobody would talk to me. Nobody could really even look at me. Nobody could stand the thought, except for Jing. Yeah, she was the only one that would kind of sit next to me. I was laying on the floor, kind of lonely, and she would sit next to me and you know, talk. But nobody else could look at me. They really, it was too awful. I definitely played with the bees, and they were baby bees, so they didn't quite have their stingers all together yet. So they were kind of like just cuddly bees. And even though I didn't really have bee scenes, you know, I met the bee handler and definitely got covered with bees. That was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. It was really quite a delicious experience for me. I mean, I was so excited to be there, you know. It was a wonderful time. You know, I'm super proud of it.